Divorces can be messy, but for these celebrities, the stakes were sky high. I mean, we're not talking about who gets the dog or the good coffee maker. We're talking about fortunes, empires, legacies on the line. It's like a high-stakes game of Monopoly, but with real mansions and slightly more drama. These are numbers that make your head spin, settlements that could buy a small country or a lifetime supply of tacos. Who doesn't love a good taco? Let's count down the top 10 foreign stars who hit the jackpot or who lost it all. It's going to be a wild ride. All right, kicking off our list at number 10 is a real blockbuster of a divorce. We're talking about Mel Gibson and Robin Moore. They were married for 31 years. They had 7 kids together, built a life and empire, and then it all came crashing down. When they decided to split, there was no prenup. I repeat, no prenup. It's like going into a lightsaber duel without the lightsaber. Not great for your wallet. When the judge brought down the gavel, Robin walked away with half of everything from 3 decades together. A cool $425 million. That's not a typo. You could buy your own private island, alimony acres. Love is grand. Divorce is $425 million grand. Tough pill to swallow. Coming in at number 9, we have a story that was all over the news, the talk shows, everywhere. You couldn't escape it. I'm talking about the legendary golfer Tiger Woods and his split from Elin Nordegren. Their divorce was the final putt after a major scandal. Remember that? It was a media frenzy. Everyone had an opinion, everyone had a joke. This all made people think, this is going to be expensive. And boy, was it ever. The final figure? A reported $100 million. That's a lot of green, not the golf course. It was a massive financial hit for Tiger, plus the loss of major endorsement deals. He lost big time, and Elin walked away with a settlement that set her and the kids up for life. A tough lesson in the public eye. Let's talk about our number 8 spot. This one involves the queen of pop herself, Madonna, the ultimate material girl. She was married to film director Guy Ritchie for nearly 8 years. They seemed like a cool transatlantic power couple. She was pop royalty. He was the edgy British director. They had a life in London. It looked like a scene from one of his movies. When they announced their split, everyone wondered what the price tag would be. She ended up paying Guy Ritchie an estimated $92 million settlement. It included cash, the value of some of their shared real estate, like their country estate in England. For a minute, it seemed like the material girl had to give away a lot of her material. But here's the thing about Madonna. You can't keep her down. She just kept being Madonna. Even after a nearly $100 million payout, Madonna is always going to be on top. She can take the hit and just strike a pose. At number 7, we have a music legend, a Beatle, Sir Paul McCartney. His divorce from Heather Mills was not very harmonious. It was messy, it was public, and it was loud. They were only married for 6 years, but the breakup felt like it went on forever. There were accusations flying back and forth, dramatic court appearances. It was a whole saga. Heather Mills initially asked for a jaw-dropping amount, $250 million. In the end, the judge didn't quite see things Heather's way. The final settlement came down to $48.6 million. For a Beatle, the big win. He managed to protect his legendary music catalog. The rights to those classic songs, that's priceless. So while he had to write a very, very big check, he held on to the real treasure. And that, my friends, is a win. Okay, we're moving up the list. Numbers are getting astronomical. At number 6, media mogul Rupert Murdoch. Divorced from his second wife, Anna, 32 years married. Not millions anymore. We've entered the B territory. B stands for billion. Boy, that's a lot of money. This wasn't just a divorce, it was the division of a global media empire. Settlement, $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion. Mostly paid in company stock. Hard to comprehend. Tiny dip in a massive fortune. You could buy a fleet of private jets, a professional sports team, the entire world's supply of avocado toast. Monumental transfer of wealth. Even after giving away 1.7 B, He stayed one of the richest and most powerful. It's like dropping a $20 bill. Unbelievable. Alright, get ready for number 5, because this one absolutely shattered all previous records. It rewrote the book on expensive divorces. I'm talking about Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and his split from Mackenzie Scott. After 25 years of marriage, a partnership that started before Amazon was even a thing, they decided to go their separate ways. They built the company from a garage and turned it into a global behemoth. So when they split, the question on everyone's mind was, how do you divide that? Jeff transferred a 4% stake in Amazon to Mackenzie, which at the time was worth an unbelievable $38 billion. That's not a divorce settlement, that's the GDP of a small nation. It was handled incredibly amicably, with both of them releasing respectful statements. What's amazing, Mackenzie Scott signed the Giving Pledge and started donating billions of dollars to charity. So, while Jeff Bezos lost $38 billion, the world has gained an incredible force for good. A massive, world-changing redistribution of wealth. Coming in at number 4 is a split that was less about the final settlement number and more about the brutal public battle that came with it. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. Wow. A media circus of epic proportions. It was messy. It was ugly. It was broadcast for the entire world to see. We watched a courtroom drama in real time. Every detail, every accusation, every tear, dissected on social media. Initial settlement, reportedly $7 million. Amber Heard pledged to donate it to charity. But that was just the beginning. The real cost came later. Dueling defamation lawsuits in the United Kingdom, in the United States. These trials were all about reputation. The cost was immense, not just legal fees in the millions, but in public image and career opportunities. The U.S. jury largely sided with Depp, awarding him millions. Heard was awarded millions in her countersuit. Sometimes the price is public perception, the most expensive loss of all. At number 3, we have someone who knows how to turn pain into power and heartbreak into platinum records. I'm talking about the one and only Adele. Her split from Simon Konecki, her partner of many years and father of her son, was kept pretty private, which is her style. There were no big, messy public fights. But behind the scenes, a major financial arrangement was taking place. They were married without a prenup in California, which meant things could get very, very expensive. When the divorce was finalized, reports surfaced about the settlement, $140 million. It represented a big chunk of the fortune she'd built with record-breaking albums. But this is Adele. She doesn't just get sad, she gets to work. She channeled her heartbreak into the album 30. Raw, honest, incredibly powerful. It flew to the top of the charts worldwide. It sold millions. She turned a huge financial loss into an artistic and commercial triumph. Only Adele. Landing at our number 2 spot is a divorce that was surprising for a different reason. Not because of how expensive it was, but because of how quiet it was. Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes. When they were together, they were one of the biggest couples on the planet. Remember the couch jumping? It was a whole thing. Their wedding was an event. So when Katie Holmes filed for divorce, everyone buckled up, expecting a long, drawn-out, explosive Hollywood battle. A true mission impossible. But that's not what happened at all. The entire divorce was settled in just 11 days. 11 days. I have leftovers in my fridge that are older than that. It was incredibly fast and surgically precise. There were no public mudslinging or dramatic courtroom showdowns. It was clear the number 1 priority was their daughter, Suri. Katie received primary physical custody. Financially, not a blockbuster payout. For her, the win was about privacy, custody, and calm. And here we are, at the number 1 spot on our list. And it might surprise you. This isn't about the biggest payout, but about the most civilized? I'm talking about Chris Martin of Coldplay, Gwyneth Paltrow. They broke the internet not with a scandal, but with 2 words. Conscious uncoupling. Everyone was like, what does that even mean? Is that like a fancy Hollywood way of saying, we broke up? And yeah, pretty much, but it set a whole new tone. They were determined to split without the drama. Instead of fighting over money, they focused on their family, keeping their individual fortunes intact. There were no messy court battles over who got what. They genuinely redefined what a celebrity divorce could look like. They won peace and a continued friendship. In the crazy world of Hollywood, that might be the most valuable win of all. And there you have it. 10 celebrity divorces, 10 completely different stories. From the record-shattering, jaw-dropping billion-dollar settlements of Jeff Bezos, Rupert Murdoch, to the quiet, strategic exit of Katie Holmes. It's just wild to see the different ways these things can play out, right? Some splits create billionaires and philanthropists, while others turn personal heartbreak into #1 albums. It really runs the gamut. A look behind the curtain of fame and fortune. These stories show us that when a marriage ends in the public eye, the stakes are unbelievably high. We saw fortunes won, reputations lost, and in some cases, a whole new, healthier way of separating emerge. It's a roller coaster of finance, emotion, and public relations. It's a reminder that even for the biggest stars, love and money can be a very complicated mix. From the $425 million payout to the amicable co-parenting, it's a tough process for anyone, but add millions and paparazzi, it becomes a whole different ballgame. Divorce can be tough, but these celebrities prove that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you just move on.